Hi, Libra. Let's do the weekly tea, the week of September 21st through the 27th. It's good for the sun, rising moon, and Venus sign of Libra, but it is a general reading, so it may not resonate with all of you. If you would like a private reading, the link to my website is in the description below. If you would like to see messages for all 12 zodiac signs, check out my sister channel called Soma Chandra Tarot. Let's get into it. So, normally when I do like the weekly tea message, I don't get a lot of major arcana. I get minor arcana and I see mechanical workings of things. But because I had so much major arcana, I felt like something kind of deeper was going on. And I'm like, okay, this is more like a deep dive soul message. But what I will tell you as I sat here and listened and meditated and drank coffee and just listened a little bit further, here are the downloads I got. Some of you are about to embark upon a very cool creative collaboration or project that might not happen this week. There may be some delays. If you are expecting some kind of a payment or payout, you might not get it this week. This might frustrate you. It's just a matter of timing. Keep at it. The payout will come. Some ideas still need to be formulated. You might not have the right creative partners just yet. One of you might be more on board than the other. Also, there may be, this might happen for someone that you're trying to connect with, but not to you directly. Someone that you're trying to connect with this week may be called out of town unexpectedly because of a death in the family or a major shift in career or work or something like that. As far as relationships go, let this person go. They're not going to make things right with you and move on. That's the recap. Let's go a little bit deeper because I knew instantly that we were going to go deeper when I asked Spirit, what's the reason for the reading this week? They did tell me to add reversals. 10 of Swords reversed, 10 of Wands reversed is clarifying it, and the 4 of Cups. So getting over something pretty major, or maybe moving towards an ending that you know is going to hurt. So you're delaying it a little bit and you're emotionally reevaluating it. But what I think is happening here based on your oracle cards is that you guys are moving into new energy because you're ready to hit the eject button and make some sudden changes and major shifts. You got 4 major arcana up here. This could be an extension of you, but I meant for it to be another person. But for many of you that don't have a particular person that you're focused on or in focus for you, this will all be you. Okay, so I'll read it both ways because energy is super fluid with tarot. But I think you guys are finally getting over something that you allowed the pain of this cycle to weigh you down for a very long time. Now I see you still think about it, but I think what's happening is as you're letting go of feeling stabbed in the back or hurt and finally letting that pain go, the cards are still on the table, but they're in the reverse. Maybe you're having a hard time moving forward. I think you're feeling a little fickle this week, or it's still on your mind, but you're moving into king energy. What came out of our animal oracle deck that you guys know I'm so fond of using, the golden egg and the bat. This is really, really beautiful, Libra. The golden egg is a mythical creature. It is a message from the center of your heart, very much so. This is about feeling treasured. It will be a week of introspection and contemplation. And the 4 of Cups is a card of contemplation and introspection. I think you're going to want to drown out a lot of noise. I think you're trying to allow yourself to unfold, knowing that you're the golden egg, knowing that you're the treasure. There's no rushing, there's no pushing when this card comes out. And you begin to ask yourself questions that weigh heaviest on your heart. And you begin to stay open to any response you hear. And you can't do that until you let some shit go. And you're doing it, and here's your reward for it. And it does require you becoming more intimate with the very essence of who you are and being comfortable with vulnerability. And when we do that, we begin to feel more tender, and gratitude arises from deep within us. And we know that we're well on our way to a major ascension. And I know that you are because the bat is death and rebirth. This is darkness. This is letting go. This is death leading to rebirth. When it's upright and in balance, it accepts, it adapts, and it adjusts. The back comes very swiftly and it encourages us to move on. So if you're having a little bit of trouble moving on, when we carry a burden, when we carry pain of any kind, and it takes us a long time to let it go, once we do let it go, our brain is like, okay, now what do we do? I have nothing to obsessively brood over anymore. I'm over this pain. Bat's here to say, you can do it. Go within, find the next thing, the next treasure, the next phase, the next step. What the next step that you're moving into is really important. The last reading I did for you guys showed me that a higher love is coming in for you, and that can be in the form of a job, learning a new skill, a new creative opportunity or project, or a relationship. I have this wonderful new deck by Colette Baron Reed, and I have so many of her decks. This is her latest one, the Oracle of the Seven Energies. You guys got Smoke and Mirrors, Seeing Beyond, and Awakening Genius. I love this. You're beginning to see through some bullshit. The key concepts of Smoke and Mirrors are seeing through the lens of the past conditioning. So, seeing past conditioning, things that you were conditioned to believe, and it's the inability to recognize the truth of what's being offered, and healing from misguided perceptions, and moving beyond the illusion of separation, and being accountable for your biases and the way you view the world. So, this will be a week of you looking at your own preconceived notions, the story you tell yourself, the story you tell yourself about other people, the way you perceive yourself, the way you perceive other people. I think that you will be having some sort of a wake up call about, the way you've been looking at a certain situation. It might make you brood a little bit, but that's okay. I think that it's just part of the process, because Seeing Beyond is the next card that came out. I see a progression. This is vision. This is the capacity to imagine something more than what's right in front of you, to look beyond the material, to look beyond the obvious, to look beyond the smoke and mirrors here, and get out of your own way and discard projected outcomes. So let go of the outcome, okay? Don't project a future for yourself yet. You can see beyond when you see what's right in front of you. Okay. It's just time to imagine something as opposed to wanting to see the outcome, because there's some preconceived notions that you're trying to get out of the way first. And that's when you will awaken the genius. This is a creative expression. So some of you are about to bring forth and birth a new project. And it's also about knowing that your ideas matter. It's about receiving and bringing forth new information and knowing that you can contribute. How you forge this connection is to get out of your own way and simply allow it to work through you. So you're going to be allowing magic to work through you this week. So I see you guys letting go of preconceived notions, staying in the now, and letting go of a projected outcome, and just seeing, what's right in front of you and allowing this genius to awaken. And I think that it's all tied into getting to really know yourself and feeling the treasure within and allowing for this death and rebirth. I was like, okay, this is a little bit more than weekly tea here. But you guys are getting over something. What came out for you? First cards out were the Moon in reverse to the Two of Swords in reverse. I think that you've gotten into a place where, there could have been an avoidance or a decision that you made, and you just overthought it to the point where it became a stalemate. I think you've made a decision about something, and I think it's simply to face the future with some uncertainty. I think you're going to be feeling some repressed emotions this week and allowing them to bubble to the surface. This is seeing beyond the smoke and mirrors. If anything was making you feel uncomfortable, or if you were experiencing, for me, the moon is often in relationships being blindly in love with a person and imagining them to be something that they're not, or imagining something that isn't really there and not feeling good about what you're experiencing. If that's been happening to you, that's going to start to lift. I feel like you're moving forward into the end of September, coming out of this smoke and mirrors feeling, moving towards an awakened genius within, which comes with this death and rebirth and an acceptance of an ending. I think you've just let something go that maybe you were avoiding for a while, a thought or a feeling, or it's like, it's never going to work out with this specific situation. It's information overload. And I clung to an illusion for a long time, and I'm just not going to do that anymore. And here's the giveaway with that: the Tower and Judgment. Kaboom. This is a sudden awakening that brings a rebirth from within, where you begin to see who you are for what you really are, and a situation for what it really is. And it makes way for this absolute knowing that frees you and brings you to this ascension. These two cards together pretty much equal the world for me. I think you're going to be doing some deep soul work and moving into some new things that will awaken your genius and your personal power. I also see that with the Hierophant and the Hangman here, a spiritual upgrade for you. The Hangman is where we just surrender and let something go. We see it for what it really is. We see it from a different perspective, and we have enlightenment. And the Hierophant is about spiritual wisdom and knowledge. It's a path of self-embetterment. It's a modest and pious approach. Some of you are being called now to a teacher or to teach others. I think you've learned a big lesson here. I'm seeing 3 cards that indicate a major lesson for you. So I see you getting like, this is like a path of destruction here, like Gaia or Ganesh or something, like the great elephant that just tramples something with the Tower here and makes way for this rebirth that will move you towards this path of self-embetterment and enlightenment, which I love. Love it, love it, love it. The way you're feeling right now, in particular in a relationship, 5 of Wands in reverse, King of Pentacles, King of Swords. So you're in king energy right now, ladies and gentlemen. For my fellas, you're like, I'm a grown up and I expect the truth here. I'm a generous, giving person, but I use the sort of discernment in all things. I think some of you, like my single people, are a little not thrilled with your dating pool, maybe. Like you're kind of a conflict avoidant, or this is where we get out there and we try something out. I think you guys are kind of like, no, I'm kind of in this full-on king energy where I'm very focused on my career and abundance. And both of these people look like and also very much represent discipline and being in control. Very much so. So mastering the pentacle and, the action and intellect realm. It's part of becoming the emperor, and we all want to become the emperor and the empress at the same time. We work on different aspects of the emperor and the empress at different times in our life. This looks like a really great business partnership, possibly, but some of you might not be able to work things out this week. There might be some conflict avoidance because we have 2 very headstrong people here. But this is meant to be all you, Libra, really getting into this grounded, stable energy and being kind of detached. But neither one of these guys are messing around. I think you really mean business this week. And I think that you're also not willing to deal with gossipy flying monkeys or a lot of tension. I see you taking a leadership role and trying to be part of a solution as opposed to part of a problem. I see this kind of rising above like bullshit energies here and taking just the path of enlightenment and self-embetterment. Very much so. It's going to be different things for different people. If I meant for this row to be a person around you, but again, for some of you, it might just be an extension of you. So if it's a person around you, 4 of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, and Justice in reverse, just abandon ship. This person can't work through the changes. They're dead on their ass. They will not serve justice with you. They might even be blaming you for something. They will not take any accountability. They will not weigh cause and effect with you. They have no intention of serving justice. They're dead on their ass, period. If you're waiting to do something in court, it will be 4 more weeks. Maybe. It's something about timing. But this person's stressed out by this. They can't tolerate the ups and downs, and they can't really be honest. That might be what's driving you insane still a little bit, but I see you working on letting it go. I'm seeing like 2 things happen at once. Often we have an enlightenment and we face the smoke and mirrors and we start to see beyond all at the same time. It does make us resist change. It does make us learn lessons of independence and find imbalances in our life, and it does stress us out a little bit. Just breathe through it. You have this inner knowing. You're feeling this vulnerability. You're going deep within. I was like, wow, this is intense. So for some of you, this is just you. For some of my single moms, you might not get that child support this month, and it's going to really wear on you. Okay. Just FYI, I don't often hear a very direct message like that, but I did with this just now. So I know it's going to ring true for just a few of you. But I think it's going to be a time of self-care. No more mommy generosity here coming out of Libra. It's definitely time to focus on health, on your parent-children relationships. Otherwise, dad's going to have to step in a little bit more. And it's time to focus on any unpaid debts. But if this is a person around you, they want to receive at this point. They might be kind of a princess. They might be in distorted feminine energy or deal with distorted feminine energy. They could be dealing with another Libra or a Taurus. This person doesn't really have any intention this week of balancing things out with you. It might be a matter of timing and resources for them as well. Some of you are stepping out of a leadership role because they're not paying you what you deserve. I'm seeing the 8 of Pentacles with the Ace of Wands in reverse. If this is a person you're connected to, they put an awful lot of work into something that never really got anywhere. And it didn't have a lot of growth potential to begin with. It was a false start, and they might have been connecting to a distorted feminine energy. Some of you are trying to get pregnant. It's just not the month. It's just not the month. That's all. There's also a project that you want to get going, and it will take a lot of work. There's just going to be a delay. But I think that if this is, a person around you you were connecting to, they just bury their head in work. I think they just want to receive at this point. I think they themselves might be a little bit of a player or a princess, or they connect to this distorted feminine energy, or they are distorted feminine energy. They have it in them. There's potential, but I just heard gold digger too. With death here in the Chariot, the first message I heard was this person is finished and you're just moving on from them, or they're moving on from you. But one of the first messages I did hear was someone that you're connected to may have a family member pass and they may have to go out of town. This may affect you in some way. But this is death again. If this is a relationship around you, I'm basically trying to spin the reading about 4 different ways because I heard 4 different storylines. So I hope that that's not pissing you off or confusing any of you guys. It's just how it happens sometimes. This is a person that's just kind of ignoring you and won't even things out with you. It's like the contract is fulfilled at this point. I do think that there's something new coming in for you, but I think what you're doing is letting go of something that you put up on a pedestal and spent a lot of time giving a shit about. Look at him. He's absolutely in adoration of this pentacle. We looked at these texts. We looked at their Facebook. We looked at this new project. We thought about it. We were going to do it. They were going to do it. There could have been a long-term plan, but I see someone thinking about something a lot and really caring a lot about it. And now you're letting something go. So I think you're just a little stuck as you move forward into the next thing. For others of you, this is a project or some money that's supposed to come in, or it's something that's supposed to get off the ground. There's just a little bit of a procrastination. I think it might be a time management thing. Someone may also be sick or have car problems, and it might choke the project in some way. But I felt like on a deeper spiritual level, I think you guys are letting go of and accepting the ending of and seeing the treasure in the lesson of something that was really important to you that you brooded over for a really long time, and now you're just trying to let it go. You just might have a hard time moving on from it this week. I have the Hermit in reverse at the bottom of the deck. Typically, he speaks to someone who's in deep depression and denial. You may be dealing with someone like that, or some of you have been in this place. But based on the other cards I'm seeing, in particular with the Tower and Judgment and the Hierophant and the Hangman, I think you're coming out of a solo spirit walk. I think you are in a place of vulnerability because you're still questioning a lot of things with the smoke and mirrors. You're still attempting to see the final outcome when really you're being gently asked to just listen to your intuition and stay in the present moment. You're meant to be awakening a genius within you and starting at the beginning. That all requires you to be participant in the 3D. Making your dreams come true and awakening genius, you can't do that by like meditating all day and playing with crystals. Like, that's not what the high priestess does. That's not what the magician does. A magician works with their hands. A high priestess does keep quiet and keep to herself, and she does spend time alone. But typically, she has these moments of seeing beyond when she's out in her day to day life. And your intuition becomes more heightened when you examine the smoke and mirrors that are happening in your daily life with the way you perceive yourself and the way you perceive other people, and the truths we tell ourselves and accept, and then the lies we realize and we accept. I think that's what Judgment's about for you. I think, honestly, some of you are having a major awakening about another person or a situation in your life that you clung to for a really long time and were rather enamored of this situation and thought, I'm willing to wait for it. I don't think you are anymore. I think you're done being in hermit mode. I think you're coming out of a solo spirit walk about something because you were breaking a cycle. And again, moving into this king energy, I think you're kind of bypassing, you know, some conflict with others. I think you've got some inner conflict going on, but I think the way you're going to choose to deal with it this week is to be very focused on business, career, taking the lead in your life, wanting security, wanting discipline, wanting abundance, and being kind of detached and having very high standards and wanting complete mental clarity in your life. Some of you may also be connecting to a partner. Some of you are married to someone that gets the job done, but doesn't show you a lot of emotion. They may be going through a transformation themselves, Libra, with death here in the upright. And they will get to a place where they're very accountable for the direction that they are going. But that is still in the process of manifesting. There might be some procrastination. Yeah. Okay, you guys, so that's your very deep, kind of all over the place reading. I do hope it resonates with you. I hope it didn't confuse you, and I hope it helped you. Just allow yourself to be vulnerable, getting to know your real self, accepting endings, knowing they bring new beginnings. I like this King of Pentacles and King of Swords energy for you guys, though. I want all my men and women in King of Swords and King of Pentacles energy. It might feel somewhat counterintuitive, especially to feminines, and you don't need to live in this energy, but there's a King of Swords and a King of Pentacles living inside all of us, and it's important to get to know this guy. Just like it's important for everyone to get to know the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords. So this is the energy you're going through right now. I would look these cards up and think about them and think about the stories and the things you're beginning to accept about yourself and your interpretations of other people, I think you're seeing beyond smoke and mirrors and awakening the genius within. I do think something new will start soon, but I think that there will be somewhat of a delay this week while you're finishing letting go of this stuff. And I think there must be something that you're emotionally contemplating as well, and maybe even recovering from. Just let yourself break the cycle and you'll come right back into balance. All right, my dear ones. Okay, Libra, that's your weekly tea for this week. I'm always listening to the universe for you. Take care of yourselves. I really love you guys. I'll see you next time.